Hello team and welcome back to the Football Social live on Football Daily and Soccer AM's YouTube pages. You're joining us for Everton versus Liverpool. That's right, after 15 weeks of waiting, the Premier League champions in waiting of their phenomenal campaign underway at Goodison, only 2 wins away from securing their first title since 1990. And there was only 4 of the squad alive last time they won a title. So the fans have waited and waited, and at last it looks like it's going to come to fruition. The home side, only 1 win in 26 in this fixture, but Carlo Ancelotti is at the helm now, and they have improved dramatically since then. Before we tee it up any further, let's see who is along for the ride with us, because we have a star-studded 4 boxes for you. I don't know what to say instead of studio now. I'm thrown, but we're going to carry on anyway. It's, of course, Jose Enrique joining us from Valencia, the man who's made over 200 appearances in English football. What a guest.
Good, Jose.
What a guest.
Thank you.
What a man. How are you, sir?
Very good. You?
I was going to say, ¿Qué pasa? Would that be accurate? ¿Qué pasa?
¿Qué pasa? Yeah, ¿qué pasa? How are you? Yeah, ¿qué pasa? Yeah, it's the only Spanish you know, no?
Well, no. You're looking fairly relaxed. Unlike me when you just asked me about my Spanish there.
I'm quite good, to be honest. I'm, very relaxed. The weather here is amazing, so quite good, yeah.
Excellent. And you're positive about securing a result today? Can you feel it in your bones?
Yeah, I feel obviously that the end is the first game after a very long period of time without playing, but I believe that obviously Liverpool have a better team, and we will show it today.
Yes, absolutely. Let's go to the rest of the guys then. We've got Dave Jackson joining us. Just for full transparency, forgot giving Sam Obaseki the day off. So here he is. David, how are you, sir?
Well, I've kind of fallen out of love in the space of 4 days. I've fallen out of love with football in the space of 4 days, mate. I went from being the most excitable young Arsenal fan, the most excitable Arsenal fan in England to just let's just end the season now. What's the point? It kind of is what it is. But I'm very, very happy to be here. I'm really glad to be on the show. Obviously, really good to see Will and Jose, and of course yourself, Mr. Chris Hamill.
You reined it in there pretty well then. I think you realised how much of a downer you were putting on the stream. I didn't want to lead with Arsenal, but you just went there straight away. And you say you're disillusioned. You've got your top on, you've got your Bergkamp top there. Come on, mate.
I know, mate. No, I'm pumped. I'm absolutely, as I said, absolutely honoured to be here, mate. Just still love football. Just quite happy for the season to be over already, though, mate. So.
Well, it could be worse, mate. We're joined by a Birmingham fan in Will, football social legend. Yeah, go on. Let's clap him. Let's clap his return.
Yeah.
How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm very well, mate. Waiting for the barbers to open. Got a haircut booked in for the 4th of July, 9 a.m, and I'll be running there like the wind. Yes,
that fringe is very 90s, of course, the last time that Liverpool won the league. And what is your role on today's show? A role that some say you have come to define.
Yes, I am on Social Corner, so we're going to be finding out who's got the scouse, nounce the pouse in this Merseyside derby. Will Jurgen Klopp be the king of the cop, or will Carlo Ancelotti do an Italian job? Get in touch, #TFS, at SoccerAM, at Football Daily.
He's back, ladies and gentlemen. What a line. How many times did you practice that down on the train? Right, let's go to the table. No time for you to answer. Everton in 13th place. So a victory would propel them into the top half of the table. And my, oh my, would it be a welcome victory. Their record in recent times, absolutely shocking, like we established at the start of the show. However, Carlo Ancelotti, only 3 sides have taken more points since he was installed at the helm. He has had the Midas touch so far. Let's go to the top half. And Liverpool sitting pretty, 22 points to the good. Like we said, only 2 victories away from securing a historic title. Jurgen Klopp, he said in his presser, he thought the season was going to be cancelled, but we're back. And I'm really glad, boys, because like Will said, I've missed you all. Right, let's go to the formations then. Let's see what XI, the home side, are putting out. Carlo Ancelotti keeping things simple. He's stuck to a 4-4-2 since coming in, hasn't he? And it has worked a treat. Gordon there on the right wing, making his first senior start. And of course, Andre Gomez returns after that awful ankle injury. So awful, I couldn't even say it. And plays in his second game since then. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has 8 in 10 under Carlo Ancelotti. And Richarlison has also contributed to 13 goals this campaign, one off his best. Liverpool, I'm sure you've heard by now, a couple of big exclusions despite the fact they overcame late fitness concerns, and that is Robertson at left back, Milner comes in for him, and Minamino replaces the talismanic Mo Salah up front. And Bobby Firmino, he needs to put a few wrongs right here. He has 0 goals in 9 appearances against Everton, despite the fact he's been part of the side that have already won this fixture twice this season. Mane has 5 goal contributions in 7. A little bit more reliable in the Merseyside derby. But let's see if the number 9 can get rid of that hoodoo. Jose, having had a look at the lineups now and having had a bit of time to think about it, where do you think your former side, Liverpool, can really hurt Everton in this fixture?
I believe they have to stick to what they do. It's at the end is high pressure, try to press as high as possible with intensity and the way they've been playing. I don't believe they have to change anything or exploit any areas in particular. They just have to play their game. That's why they're doing so well. So I believe they don't have to change anything or exploit any specific areas, to be honest.
Of course, they've only lost 1 fixture this term. It's not to say they weren't great last season, but what do you put down to the dominance displayed this season? Has there been any changes, any incremental changes, let's say, from the year before?
To be honest, it's just like you say. At the end, it's just incredible what they've done this year. What the difference with other teams, Liverpool just playing in complete different league this season. And I believe last season they played the same as well. And I don't know why this season has been like this. Obviously, City is not being as consistent. But obviously, Liverpool, they saw that obviously restarting the league is really good. And obviously, we win it the proper way. But I believe everyone knows that Liverpool is going to be the champions.
Good stuff. Right, we're going to be asking Jose plenty of questions as the show progresses. I don't want to hog the limelight. Of course, get your questions into Will. And if you're new to this channel or Soccer AM, please subscribe right now because we'll be covering all the big matches as the season comes to a head. Will, if any early questions tickled your pickle, we want to make this about the audience joining in as well, don't we?
Yes, Jose, one for you here. Obviously, you got to work with Jurgen Klopp. Obviously, we've seen what he's like from an outside perspective. But what was it like to work with him on a day-to-day basis?
To be honest, it was a big change for us because Nasser was really happy with him as a manager. And then Klopp arrived and he started changing things from the start. And he made the group better, and the way that we play is the way Liverpool plays is the way he wanted from the start. Really intense, really all the training is like you could see on the pitch. You can see in training exactly the same. He's really intense. He really talks a lot, and it's incredible the intensity you have to put in the trainings, obviously to perform the team after on the pitch like that. He makes so many changes. You can see that in the last few years, Liverpool is coming back to his best again to be one of the best teams in the world. Well, at the moment, the best in the world until someone win the world champion this year. So let's see what's happened. But at least
So we can see some live pictures now, and it looks like Liverpool are emerging from some sort of Sunday League facility, but that is, of course, to enforce the social distancing measures. It's for the good of the players' safety on the pitch. So we'll forgive them for Everton putting a Liverpool up in what appeared to be a burger van. So they make their way onto the hallowed turf of Goodison, and that man, Virgil van Dijk. Jose Enrique, if Virgil van Dijk wasn't in this side, are Liverpool sitting as pretty as they currently are?
Yeah, I believe, obviously, Virgil is, for me, obviously it's just my opinion, the best centre back in the world. And is when you play in defense, obviously I've been a defender as well, and when you have someone like him in the back and he's a leader as well. I know he's not the captain, obviously we have Jordan for that, but he's like another captain in the team, and he controls completely all the defense, and he helps the team so much from the back, and he gives so much confidence to the team.
Yeah, I mean, you know all about talismanic Liverpool players, having played with Steven Gerrard. When you joined, just how influential was he in that dressing room? And do you see shades of Steven Gerrard in Jordan Henderson? I know it can be an unfair comparison at times, particularly playing-wise, but in terms of leadership qualities, is the parallel there?
To be honest, it's like you just say, you cannot compare. At the end, they complete different players. It's not fair to any of them. At the end, Stevie is a legend. Jordan is still playing, and he's already a legend, but he will be even more legend when they win the Premier League, and hopefully a lot more titles for Liverpool. They are completely different, but since the first day Jordan came in, with 21-year-old, they signed him for £20 million. You could see so much effort, so much trying to prove himself from the start, and I'm so happy for him because everyone is seeing how good the guy he is as well for all he's doing for the NHS and for the players as well and for everything. But as well, I'm really happy for him because I'm close to him, and he deserves all the good that happening to him because, like you just say, he's a leader. He's one of the main players for Liverpool, in my opinion. When he doesn't play, he makes such a big difference for the team. And when he's on the pitch, you can see a difference. But I cannot compare it with Stevie or who is better or who don't. At the end, they're completely different, and they are amazing, both of them, what they do.
Yeah, brilliant. He's a thoroughly dedicated professional, isn't he, Jordan Henderson, and a worthy winner of the Premier League when it inevitably happens. Dave, let's get it out of the way then, mate. Arsenal, Brighton. We've got 3 minutes till kick off. The floor's yours, pal.
I was watching obviously yesterday, and there was so many things wrong with it. I don't even know where to start. The only good thing about it was probably the first 60 minutes from Saka. I say he was probably our best player. And that's quite a frightening thing to say, that like an 18-year-old who's only got a year left on his contract has been Arsenal's best player this season. So there is so much to be done with this current Arsenal team. I hope that Arteta can work his magic, but he's got one hell of a job, and I think even Arteta needs a bit of criticism after yesterday, because I think the subs he made, they clearly just weren't the right kind of players to bring on. Like there is so much wrong with Arsenal at the moment, but I always try to look for the positives, So we got some good young players there. So I'm hoping that Arteta can start to work his magic there, put his own stamp on it, and we can start to get the best from this young crop of exciting players. So I've gone from a negative, turned it into a positive, but there is an awful lot to be done.
And not 2 weeks ago, in the Football Daily end of season predictions, you put Arsenal in the Champions League places. So yes, you are an extremely positive man. Borderline deluded, some might say. Right, let's talk about your former club, Jose, who secured a great result earlier in the day against Sheffield United at St James's Park. Newcastle winning 3-0. Just how closely do you watch the Newcastle games as well?
To be honest, I watch them, but not as often as Liverpool. Everyone knows, I watch a lot more Liverpool, but obviously since I live in Liverpool, I don't know, I have this feeling, and I watch them more as well. I still care so much about Newcastle. It's a club that gives me so much, and the fans, they still send me so many messages in social media, and they love me loads, and I'm so happy for that because I did play well there. But it's gonna be. I'm not sure what is happening with if they're gonna buy the team or not. The club or not. But I really hope it happens because it will be good for McAsley. It will be good for the club. Good for the fans. A good restart. And Newcastle should be a top 6 in my opinion. It's a very good club. The fans are amazing. Lovely city to live. Rains a lot, to be honest, but it's really nice anyway. It's really,
Look
really
how
nice.
He says that with that wry smile on his face from sunny Valencia. I'm not having it. All right. Digging out the British weather already. Right. Before we go any further, gentlemen, let's have today's price boosts. So these come from our sponsors, Sky Bet. Van Dijk to score a header, now 12-1. Always a threat, isn't he? The Dutchman inside the 18-yard box. Richarlison, like I said, on a hot streak. So for him to score a header might be worth a punt at 16-1. Fabinho to be shown the first red card. It's been a while since this fixture's got that tempestuous because of Liverpool's dominance. We've got Firmino to break his duck as well at 7-1. And Calvert-Lewin and Mane, who have both been prolific of late, to score one apiece, 7-1. Odds accurate at the time of recording. Of course, you have to be 18 plus to play along. And that's that out of the way, gentlemen. We'll be revisiting some more as the match progresses, but it has kicked off now. So let's just take this in. We might be witnessing history. Liverpool, if they win this, only one more fixture away, like I said. So the stakes are high, and I'm sure those players will be very keen to nip it in the bud as soon as possible. Jose, just how hard is it to return after that long out? Of course, you've only got pre-season to really compare it to, right? But just how hard is it to hit the ground running, as we like to say in England, after being out for such a long period?
Well, obviously, I cannot talk for that long because I never been that long without playing football. When I used to be a footballer. The maximum I was when we promote from Championship to Premier League with Newcastle, and it was 2 months holiday. And obviously, you come back and you have pre-season and all of that. And here it looks like, yeah, they have like a little pre-season and everything like that, but the end is completely different. You come back, you are competing for points, you are competing to try to win the league, in this case Liverpool, and no fans at all, so it's going to be very, very weird, at least from the start. I believe after a few games they will get used to it, but at the end, football as well without fans is not football. Obviously it's amazing that at least we can enjoy from home. It's better football than nothing. But obviously, football without fans, I believe for the players will be very, very strange.
I think Dave might disagree. I think he might take nothing at this point. But anyway, he's already explained why. Jackson, have you got a specific prediction for this game? I want you to give us some sort of voodoo magic.
I think Liverpool win this quite easily, to be honest. I think if you just compare the teams, there's such a big difference in like the quality, and I think from an Everton point of view, I think Carlo's probably looking at his players now and thinking, okay, who do I want to take on next season? Who's going to be my starting 11 for the next season? So there's a lot for the Everton team. There's a lot for them to play for, but it's probably more kind of personal, obviously, rather than any kind of trophies or any stuff like that. So I think it's going to be a good game, but I think just looking at it, I think Liverpool just way too strong, to be honest. So I'm going to go Liverpool. I'm going to go Liverpool 3-0. So very, very, very kind of comfortable.
Like high scoring game.
Here comes Everton.
We say that as Richarlison's on the attack.
Richarlison. Oh!
Big chance there.
Why is he not dying?
Wow.
Why is that?
Why nothing? No, leave it like that. It's perfect like that. Perfect.
Richarlison flashing one past the post there. Jose, how hard would it be to defend against someone like Richarlison, who is a wide forward, isn't he, but is capable of playing inside as well?
Well, he's a very good player, to be honest. Obviously, what he said the last few days, I don't know if you've seen it, that Van Dijk is not one of the best in the world. I want to see what happened today. That is going to be interesting. I'm sure Van Dijk is going to prove him wrong, But yeah, he's a very good player, don't get me wrong. He's a player that you could see there. He has a big chance to score and, with his foot as well. So it's very difficult because he goes at you. He doesn't care if he goes left or right. So it's very difficult to defend. But obviously, I hope he doesn't score today. I want Liverpool to win, and I don't mind Everton scoring, but I don't want him to score today. Just to stop him up with the attacking.
So Dave's gone 3-0. Sorry, what would you say, Jose?
0-2 for Liverpool.
Nice.
Obviously,
okay, clean sheet then. Sure, they'd welcome that because Liverpool, of course, losing 4 of the previous 6 games before the break. They were experiencing their most challenging period of the season by far, weren't they? Maybe that is something that Everton will have in mind as well. Will We know you like an outlandish prediction. What are you going for this time round?
Obviously, we've had a lot of time off, so I've been running the numbers through my head, and I've come up with the calculation of Everton 3, Liverpool 3 for myself.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
what a score!
Nice.
No?
Things never change.
Welcome to the show, Jose. A bit of a maverick for a few things out there, but that's just the football social.
Are you a maverick if you have to tell people you're a maverick? I think we'll leave that to the audience to decide. But yeah, Everton not helped by Schneiderlin, Gbamin and Delph being out either. Just thought we'd get that in there just so you guys have the bigger picture at home. And talking of the guys at home, Will, let's have some questions, mate.
Yes, Jose. Anthony Gordon making his first Premier League start in a derby. What will the emotions be going through his head right now?
Well, I'm sure this type of games, it depends on him. I don't know about him, to be honest. I never heard of him before. But obviously, it's a big chance for him to prove himself. That's the reality.
Yeah.
And it's no better game than this to prove himself. At the end, I believe it's good for him as well. Maybe there is no fans. Even if they play at home, the fans, they will support him, to be honest, because they're playing at home. But it's obviously, if Ancelotti put him there as a starting player, it means he's a good player and he trusts and believes in him. Because to put him against Everton in the derby, he has to be a good player. So let's see. It's gonna be difficult for him. He's a young player, but you never know. Sometimes it's difficult to start. That maybe he does the best game of his life. So it's very, very, very difficult to know what's gonna happen with him.
Do you remember your first senior appearance and like what you were going through that day?
Yes, to be honest, yes. I don't remember against who it was, to be honest, the team, but I remember the feeling. It was good, to be honest. It was difficult my first season as a pro player, in La Liga, in Celta Vigo, because the speed was completely different. The year before, I used to play in League One here. So it's like second B in Spain, it's called. So the pace was completely different and the quality of the players completely different. So it took me that year to get used to it. But at the end, every player is different. Look, Trent, for example, with 21, and look what he's done. So it doesn't matter the quality at the end. It depends on the player. Some players, they take longer. Some other players, they take more time to get used to the game.
Lovely stuff.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really good point, right? Sorry, I was just going to say, because obviously a player making a debut, this is like the closest it's going to be to like reserve team football, right? There's no like fans in the stadium, as you say. He can just kind of like concentrate on like the task at hand. It's still a big game. He's still playing Liverpool at home. But I think that's obviously a really, really good point you just made there. Just in terms of that step up to the next level and stuff, right?
Yeah, I believe obviously it's like you said at the end, without fans, it's like you said at the end, you can concentrate on the game, you can hear your teammates a lot more as well, your manager as well, giving you instructions as well, and you don't focus as well to maybe even he knows it's massive game, it's on TV, millions are watching, but at the end when you play, you don't think on that, and if his fans are around everything like that, at some point maybe he get a bit his head off, that he's not doing too well or whatever, and think too much about it. Right now, it's just like a training game for him, really, even if it's not. If it's 3 points, need, and it's the derby, but at the end, it's no fans, so maybe he feels more comfortable with it. It's like I say, it depends the player. For me, I used to love to play at home and away as well when the fans, they praise you because I love pressure, but some players, they like it less. That's why I say before all of this, I say in an interview as well, that some players, they're going to benefit playing without fans, and other players, they're going to struggle without fans. Because some players, they like that pressure. They like the fans, pressing you, even if it's against you, they love it, and other ones, when they play away from home, they are not the same when they play at home. And look, Minamino there, and the score, eh?
It's close.
Minamino, he will be hoping to seize his opportunity today because they don't come around a lot with those front three in your ranks, do they? Ooh. So the former Salzburg man will be keen to impress. I've got a really important question for you, Jose, and it just struck me as I heard a Scouse accent when the camera, went to pitch side. The two clubs you played for, you had to try and comprehend both Geordie and the Scouse accent. Which one was harder to understand?
To be honest, it's the two hardest, probably, in the UK. But to be honest, both of them, obviously, I don't know about other places, but I'm sure they are the nicest as well, people. You know, they treat me so well in both cities, the fans and the people, you know, not just the fans, the people as well. I used to go out, you know, to a restaurant or sub center or one night out, you know, with friends or my partner or whatever. And it's completely, you know, the people are lovely. But it's true that if someone is really, really from there and speak, you know, Scout or Geordie, it's impossible to understand it, for me at least.
Yeah, I mean, good northern people. If you'd come down south, I think you might have had a different experience. No, I jest, of course. Lovely people down south as well. Oh, hello. So we had a bit of a chance there.
Oi, oi.
Oh.
And we have Richarlison down. I'm not quite sure why. I wanted to update you on that situation, but
and it looks like fault as well.
Have Everton conceded a free kick? Okay. We'll clear that up in just a second for you.
Yeah, just like going back to the comments he made about Van Dijk, I actually really, really like that. I think, you know, you want a young player to really kind of like back himself to kind of go on and say that I can play against like the world's best centre half, and you know, it was very, very cheeky. Don't get me wrong. But I actually think that was fantastic, and you know you kind of like want a bit of that spice back. You know, if he's playing for your club, you kind of like want that, right? So yeah, just wonder. I like kind of wonder what you thought in them kind of like the comments, Chris, or like Jose or Will. You know, were you like a fan of what Richarlison said, or you think it was just a bit kind of like cheeky?
Go on, Will.
I love a bit of cheeky, Dave. You know me inside out. So anything to get him rolled up, I think it's it doesn't really affect me. So if he goes on and loses 6-0, we can all have a laugh at him. And if it goes on and wins, we'll say it's the perfect remedy, can't we?
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, what he said, this fixture definitely needed a bit more spice, didn't it? I don't want to reel off the stats once more because it makes for grim reading for Everton fans. But you have someone there who's clearly backs himself. You know, he started at number 9 for Brazil now. He's got some international goals. His stock is on the rise. And if he's feeling confident, and he's confident he's going to put in a performance that doesn't embarrass him, you know, in the context of those remarks, then yeah, I think the game is better for it. It's a nice little side narrative, isn't it? So I don't mind that at all. No, like you said. What about the people in the comments? You let us know. Is Richarlison going to be eating his words? Get in the comments box and let Will know, and he'll farm out your opinions to the rest of us. And like I said, if you're not subscribed, then please subscribe now to Football Daily and Soccer AM. The game a little bit attritional at the moment, which we've probably come to expect now, given the quality since the football resumed. Will, have you taken in any other fixtures? Have you been surprised by anything in the post-COVID football world?
Well, I was going to take in Blues West Brom yesterday, but I made a trip to the park, so that was probably a good move, considering it was 0-0, and I think there was about 4 chances in the whole game. I was really impressed, actually, with the Aston Villa performance in that first one against Sheffield United, and even against Chelsea, they've done pretty well as well on top of that. But yeah, Manchester City coming back, I think they were saying that they weren't up to fitness, but blowing away Arsenal 3-0 in that first game, I was really impressed with them.
Nice.
Cheers for that, mate.
Welcome back, Dave. Come on, baby.
I wanted to ask you, Jose, before I forget about it, before it slips my mind, where's the better night out then, Newcastle or Liverpool?
Wow.
Oh, that's a tricky question.
Valencia.
Valencia, yeah. No, to be honest, I was younger in Newcastle, so I used to go out a lot more as well as a younger player. So sure. I loved Newcastle because everywhere in one, more or less, is everything in one place. You know, obviously you have other places and other, nightclubs to go, but it's more or less everything in the same place. So at the end, when you finish in one, you can go to another one straight away, and it's good because you don't have to move too much around. But Liverpool is lovely as well, and I love both, to be honest. I enjoyed both nights out. And like I said, people treat me in both of them amazing. I'm not going to go for one. That's what you want me to do, and I'm not going to do it.
Well, I'll have to keep pushing you then, Jose. I mean, you're in the same Newcastle team as the likes of Andy Carroll and Kevin Nolan. Did they like a night out?
Well, I believe they love it too much, I believe, the night out.
Brilliant.
They love it too much, yeah. They're lovely people, they're both amazing guys as well, but they love, night out and drinking a lot. I know that, yeah.
So I heard a rumour that Xabi Alonso used to have a Spanish film night at Liverpool while he was in the team. Is that true? Can you confirm it?
I have no idea, to be honest, about what you're talking about right now. No idea.
Oh, I've been absolutely set up there. I thought I discovered a right diamond on the internet. Now, was there a strong Spanish contingent at Liverpool when you joined? Did you feel at home right away?
To be honest, yes. Why? Because I believe I was 4 years in England already. I speak English really well by then. Well, at least well by then. And they signed me, and I remember I signed on Friday. I passed medical and everything, and on Saturday I was playing against Sunderland, in Anfield. So it was pretty much straight away, everything. And I loved it. I have a really good start as well, and I loved it straight away. Newcastle was more difficult. I was a lot younger. I came from Spain, without speaking the language. So it took me time to adapt to Newcastle, but to Liverpool it was straight away, to be honest.
Mm. Yeah. And did you have to do an initiation when you joined Liverpool? Did you have to sing a song?
What do you mean, like sing, something? It never happens to me that. I know so many teams does that, but I never done it. To be honest, never anyone asked me for it or anything. So
it must have been the beard, Jose, the beard and the skinhead. They must have thought, we're not asking this guy.
Yeah, maybe it was that. Yeah.
we don't want to get on the wrong side of this guy. So when you left Newcastle, if we just backtrack a little bit, dangerous cross there from the right. Pickford collects. Obviously, Chris Hughton was fired halfway through that season. I wanted to ask, one, were you surprised because Newcastle were playing well at the time? And what changes were brought about when Alan Pardew came in?
Chris, for me, I always say the same. I will always be very grateful to him because really he gave me so much confidence in the championship when we relegated, and it was my best season at Newcastle, apart obviously, and then the Premier League the season after. But I'm always grateful to him. I believe everyone in the club was really, really sad about his sacking because I don't know what really the owners they were expecting for the team in that time, because like you said, we were doing good for just a promoted team and without spending much in the Premier League as well. So it was a big surprise. Then Alan Pardew came in, and I believe he's done well. I really like Alan Pardew as well. But I have a very special feeling for Chris. He's a lovely guy, he was always lovely to me. He's a very good manager. And any player that you ask that he play under him, I'm sure they will talk very well about him in every way.
Jose, can you ask Chris for me as a Birmingham City fan to come back to Birmingham?
To come back to Birmingham? Yeah, I can tell him. Yeah, no problem. I can tell him. Yeah, I actually look, guys. Maybe you don't know, but when I have my tumor or something like that, the person I find out was with Chris Hughton. Was that night I was having dinner with him, and that night is when really I find out I have it. So imagine what is life about. And then I told him, and he was really surprised. He said, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah. That's what then I discovered I have it." So it's crazy. Wow. I was having dinner with him in London. So imagine.
Yeah, people only have nice things to say about Chris Hughton, don't they? And he does seem like a old school gentleman in every interview. You see him, and fortunately he went on to manage in the Premier League again. When Ashley and the Newcastle board made decisions that the Newcastle players couldn't understand, presumably that wasn't the first or the last. Did it spill over into the changing room? Did people get frustrated with these decisions that Ashley would make seemingly, by himself?
Yeah, the problem we have, he started already when we relegate. obviously we have a horrible season in the Premier League that season, and even we just needed a draw against Aston Villa and we lost. Dampener scored an own goal that game. Obviously, he didn't mean it to. And we relegated, and then in the precision we were doing awful, and I remember we lost a game. I don't remember if it was 4-0 or 6-0. I don't remember very well. And it was a game changer. That Chris Hutton sit down with us and we talk about it and everything, and he make us believe in ourselves again and put the team in the right direction. Then we come back to the Premier League with him. Everything is going well, and all of a sudden they sack him, and you are like, wow, where is this coming from right now? Without asking any player, at least they didn't even ask me. Obviously I don't have to make decisions, but I believe I was an important player in that time, and I believe the important players like Kevin Nolan and all of these players, no one knew really about that. And all of a sudden they sack him, and it was a big surprise for everyone. I don't have anything against McAsley, the opposite, and he always treated me well when he's been in the club, but I believe that was a wrong move, even if Alan Pardew did really well for the team. And right now, it's like we were talking before, at the end, Newcastle need a change in something. It needs a change to come back to where they deserve, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Alan Pardew's only just finished that 8-year contract, hasn't he? Forget about that. So you joined Liverpool in 11-12. And, what a first year you had. 2 cup finals and a stint in goal as well.
Yeah. Why you remind me that?
So obviously you won the League Cup against Cardiff, lost the FA Cup against Chelsea. Can you take us through those 2 games?
Yeah,
what was it like to be
was
around the club at that time? Yeah. Sorry, mate. Go on.
Wow. No worries. To be honest, it was really nice. I believe Kenny did really well for us. Obviously, in the league, we weren't obviously in the position we needed to be. That obviously was fighting for the top 4. But that season, like you said, we arrived to 2 finals that everyone knows how difficult it is to win titles, even if it's a League Cup or FA Cup or whatever. It's so difficult to win a title. And we did, and we nearly won 2. Obviously, we lost against Chelsea. They were superior that game. That's the reality. They were better than us, and that's why they beat us. But we won the League Cup, and obviously they sacked Kenny Dalglish at the end as well. That for me, Kenny is a legend, and he always will be a legend. That I want to mention that as well, that not many people know as well. That obviously I'm playing for the Legends now as well. And Kenny Dalglish, was the one who signed me for the Legends as well. So he signed me for the Liverpool
nice.
He signed me for the Legends as well. So imagine, for me, Kenny is the King Kenny, in every single way.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, you must have left a good impression. And of course, you played a lot of football in those first 2 seasons for Liverpool. And then you picked up a knee injury, right? And that sort of derailed the last 2 or 3 seasons. So how hard was the next transition at Liverpool when you were watching Brendan Rodgers come in, Liverpool experience, domestic success, almost clinching the title? How hard was watching that and not being a big part like you were in previous seasons?
That was the season I got injured, the season that we nearly won the title. It was in October, I believe. Then it was a bit of, obviously, at the end we all have mistakes, but it was a bit of disappointing because I had an injury really that not many people know, but I had an injury really for 2 months. I was playing with a meniscus tear, but we didn't really knew about that. Obviously, that's why I was playing. Okay. I wasn't even training, so no one could find anything, but my knee wasn't responding well, so I was taking so much medication to play. And after 2 months, my knee just say, stop, you can't do it anymore. It just start swelling like crazy, and I couldn't play anymore. And then, obviously, I make more damage in my knee. My cartilage was obviously really bad, and after that, I never come back to be the player I was. It was very, very difficult to accept that. Very, very difficult. And it was the same because I would have loved to play so much for Liverpool, and so many more games. But obviously, I didn't in that moment. But after a long time, I did. That I wasn't the same player. I couldn't train in 2 days in a row in the highest intensity, obviously. So it was very, very difficult to accept that.
Yeah,
Wow.
just to stay on this subject then, how hard was it to adjust as a player after your injury? Were you having to change your playing style to make up for, the lack of movement or flexibility in your right knee? Did you alter your approach as a player?
Yeah, the problem you have being in a fullback is obviously a centre back. Maybe I will have still playing, and it will not have been a problem. But as a fullback, you have to go forward, and obviously, you can be a good defender, but in the modern game, you need to go forward and look at Trent, look at Robertson, look at any fullback really in the world in the big teams. You need to push forward. You need to be as a wing back, really, as that's what you are, really, and obviously, I couldn't die anymore. Not even in trainings when we have friendly games between us in the games. I used to do maybe imagine we played on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday I couldn't train because my knee was swelling, so I didn't train. Thursday I was still a bit, and then Friday training. So obviously, then Klopp arrived, and Klopp, to be honest, was really, really straight with me. And obviously, you are not happy to hear that you cannot play at the same level you used to, but he was very honest with me from the start. And I love honestly because it's the way I am as well. And in that moment, obviously, you don't love to hear that. Obviously, I'm not able to cope with the intensity anymore that maybe Liverpool deserve, and that was difficult to accept. But at the same time, I'm really grateful that someone finally said to my face that, Jose, maybe you need to look for your future and look in something else. And but it was very, very difficult to accept. Very difficult because I wasn't able to change my game. Yeah, what you do, defend all the game, don't going forward. People realize it's not my type of game. It's very frustrating, when you used to do something and you are not able to do it anymore. So at the end, I finished my contract, and Liverpool were very right to obviously not renew it because I wasn't able to play at that level. That's all.
Yeah.
Fascinating insight there. Let's just get a quick update on the game then. Jackson, anything really materialising for either side?
It's very laboured, to be honest. For like both teams, it's kind of getting to the final third, and there's not quite that bit of quality there. I don't know if it's just like that match sharpness that's not quite there. Obviously, first game back for both these teams. I've been kind of keeping an eye on the young Everton lad who's making his debut. I don't think he's done too bad. He's kind of shown as if he wants the ball a lot. He definitely hasn't gone missing. He's playing against arguably the best right back in world football in terms of Trent. So he's not actually done too bad. But I think for Liverpool, they are slightly on top, and they're starting to move the ball a little bit quicker. But there's definitely a few more gears to come from both sides there. So kind of 0-0 was probably about the right kind of scoreline at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, great. So Gordon clearly not fazed by the occasion, but like you guys highlighted earlier, no fans. So must be a weird sensation for him, making his senior start. Okay, we've got a price boost ready for you, and it involves Minamino, who when I've looked up at the game, seems pretty lively himself as well. What a throwback that is to Football Social's gone by, the Viking clap there. Minamino to score next, 7-2. Odds accurate at the time of recording and are subject to change, of course. You have to be 18 plus to play along. Strong from you two as well, doing that in perfect harmony. I promise you at home, we haven't practiced that because that would make us sad. Okay, let's go back to Will for some questions then, because we could pick Jose's brains all day. I'm sure we'll come back to his Liverpool career fairly soon. But what are the fans saying? Well,
yeah, Jack, I wanted to speak to you as well. I don't know if you saw James Milner picking up a yellow. It was for leaving one on Richarlison. Do you think that was a little message to say, hang on, we have got a great defence?
I actually thought that was a bit of a harsh yellow, to be fair. As you say, despite there not being the fans, it's still a derby, and it was a 50-50 challenge, and he kind of did leave a little bit on him, but I don't think it was malicious. And I don't think it was probably to do with the Van Dijk wing, the Van Dijk comment. So I'll be interested to see next time's a corner, it's a 50-50 between Richarlison and Van Dijk, and see if there's any elbows left in there. I feel like the Milner one, it was just, as I say, 50-50. It was there to be won, and he was just, I think he just come out on top in terms of the challenge, but obviously then picked up the yellow.
Hammer, one for you as well. Oh, is that Van Dijk? Oh, Matip.
Nah, Matip.
Matip. Oof.
Yes, go on, Will.
Will,
hit me up.
I was just going to say, it was about Matip as well. He's obviously in the starting 11 over Joe Gomez. But for me, Gomez was hitting a bit of form before the lockdown. Can Joe feel hard done by?
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure that isn't a mark against Gomez. It might just be, the condition they've both returned in. Matty, it might just be that bit more match ready. Because quite clearly, Joe Gomez was Van Dijk's partner prior to the break. I think he'd played. I seem to remember 12 of 13. I don't know whether that's correct anymore. Might be from an old stats pack. But yeah, just a nod at his consistency in terms of getting in the side prior to the whole lockdown. So, like Minamino, Matip will probably be looking to make the most of this opportunity. A very rare opportunity, but for the long term, Joe Gomez for me is.
Yeah,
he's probably at the level now where he should be starting for England as well, owing to the consistency of others. Dave, what do you make of Joe Gomez? Big fan?
Yeah, I am actually. I think it's great for England that he's going to hopefully be Van Dijk's partner for at least the next 3-4 years, and what he could learn from a player of that stature. I think it's only a very exciting thing for England. And as you say, if I'm picking an England 11 now, he's probably the first centre half that I put down. So yeah, I'm a massive fan of Joe Gomez. Maybe like Joe, like Gomez and Rob Holding. Oof. Yeah. Chance there. Lovely.
Not him.
Yeah, not him.
Jose shaking his head. It looks like he was just offside anyway. Liverpool playing an extremely well drilled line there. Like I said, Richarlison in form going into this lockdown, so he's looking sharp here as well. Will, were you about to say something, my friend?
Yeah, well, always. I've got a bit of a gob on me. One for Jose. It's from Jay Stiff. He says, for the benefit of Dave, can Jose share his memories from Newcastle 4, Arsenal 4? And that's from Jay Stiff.
Wow. That game was... there's no word for it, because obviously, like, everyone remembered Sheikh, and the score, the goal he scored, it was unbelievable, and it was a great game. We were losing 4-0, and it was awful performance from us, and how we come back from that game, it was incredible. It's a game that, and just not just the game, the atmosphere in the stadium when we start, scoring the first goal, the second goal, the third goal, like that, you could see the fans just getting so excited. And when we finished the game, the whistle, I remember that it was amazing. It was one of the best games I've ever been involved, to be honest.
Do you like see? You said that there's no word for it. Mate. Yeah, I was going to say. Do you see? You said you've got no word for it. I've definitely got a few words about that game, but I would probably say no now. But yeah, and I just want to thank Jay Stiff for that question. It was a really, really nice one, mate. Cheers. Yeah, lovely.
Good to be back.
Lovely stuff. Sorry, Chris.
So we spoke about cheers, mate. We spoke about Joe Gomez just then, Jose. But what centre half did you really like playing next to? Who filled you with a lot of confidence?
I love Daniel Agger. When I used to play with him, he was a top centre back. They love him in Liverpool. He has everything as well. In my opinion, Firmino. Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry, I got distracted there.
Big chance.
No, that's what you're here for. What happened with the Firmino chance? Then we'll come back to Daniel Agger. Describe it for us.
Wow. Yeah, he's nearly scored with the left footed. It's really good there. Really good pass from Mane. And look, nearly there,
Need that assist.
Wow.
Extremely close from Firmino. Dragged it just past Jordan Pickford's left-hand post. Like we said, no goals in 9, so he'll be keen to make amends there. Jose, back to Daniel Agger. What made it so nice playing next to him?
Yeah, for me, obviously, it's different times, different moments, and Liverpool is obviously the best team in the world right now. So obviously, you can't compare Van Dijk to him, but in my opinion, he has everything as well. Obviously, the different players completely. Daniel Agger was a left-footed as well, Daniel Agger for me was so good for me as a fullback. When you used to go up, I imagine Robertson feel exactly the same with Van Dijk. Like you go and you have your back really covered, and that if even you cannot make it back 100%, you know you have someone there that is going to cover you. And it's such a good feeling that you have someone like Danny Lager in that position. For me, in terms of the centre backs I play with, I would say he's the best centre back I play with. The best centre back I ever seen, to be honest, as in his prime. I'm saying that I'm really, 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 really surprised with Van Dijk in the last few seasons. He has everything. I don't see anything that I will put on him. He's unbelievable. Oof.
Yeah, wise words. Will, what happened there with Everton? Not a rare attack, but, well, an attack nonetheless.
Yeah, exactly. Rarer than a Raikkoju in the wild on Pokemon. Iwobi down the right-hand side into Gordon, and he had the confidence to backheel it. And then the shot was a bit tame, to be honest. But Everton forward, so that's a positive for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We'd like to see Everton throw the kitchen sink at this, wouldn't we? Spice things up a little bit. Like Dave said, lacking bit of quality, a bit of incisiveness at the moment. Both sides kind of happy to have a lot of meaningless possession, but alas, the game will hopefully spring to light fairly soon. Jose, you were part of some very talented squads, and just to move away from Liverpool for a second, obviously when you signed for Valencia, it was a Valencia of David Villa, Ayala, Pablo Aimar, Edu. I know you went on loan that season, but did you get to train with those players and sort of see their quality firsthand?
You're forgetting someone really important there. And for me, he's one of the best players I've seen in the Premier League. And it's David Silva, that he went on loan that season with me to Celta Vigo.
I don't know a David Silva. Who's that?
That season, he went on loan with me. We went on loan together to Celta Vigo, both of us. So I know him very, very well. Yeah. He lived. We used to live in the same building. He was 2 floors, if I'm not wrong, on top of me in the building, and you could see he was different class already. But like you say, David Villa, Ayala, Pablo Aimar, he was an unbelievable talented player. He was so good in the ball. He really, really surprised me for how small he was, how strong he was as well. Unbelievable. I couldn't move him. I'm quite big, and I couldn't move him, when he had the ball. So he surprised me a lot in training. The only unlucky for Pablo was the injuries in Valencia, but they still love him. He was a very, very talented player, very talented.
You obviously joined from rivals Levante. Did you lose any friends when you made that switch?
No, to be honest, all my friends, they support Valencia. So I didn't lose any friends. Levante is a team that I respect so much because I grew with Levante really as a player, from very young age, and I will always be grateful to them. Obviously, the problem was that Levante didn't want to give me the chance in the first team. Then I went to the Under-20 World Cup with Spain, and Valencia came in, offered me a good contract. First team, obviously, not with Valencia, but maybe sending me on loan to a first team La Liga team, and obviously it was a massive change from me to play in League One, to go straight into La Liga to Celta Vigo. That season we finished 6th. So we played Europa League the season after. Obviously, I left to Villarreal that season, but we did a very, very good season.
Oh, wow.
And of course, you went to a Villarreal side that had Manuel Pellegrini as manager, and he did very well while he was there. Was he? Obviously, we know he's a top-class manager, but one of your favourite managers to work with, or?
It's one of my favorites, definitely there. He was really good with me, and he treated me really well. Obviously, as a young player, it's difficult. He gives you the chance 100%, so I believe he gave me the chance a bit later, because it was a Robarrena, the left-back, Argentinian left-back, playing there, and it took him time to give me the chance, but when he gave me the chance, I take it and I start playing every single game with him, and I was really happy. The year I arrived as well was the year that, I'm going to make you happy for a second, that was the year that Arsenal beat Villarreal in the semi-final. That was the year I arrived the year after to that season. Riquelme missed the penalty. That's the only
I remember
good
that.
time for Arsenal, I remember,
You have to forgive me for my lack of research when I asked this question, but were you there at the same time as Riquelme?
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, I was with Riquelme, yeah.
He was a fantastic player, wasn't he? Absolutely fantastic player, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I remember it, man.
Well, that's a red card, eh?
Will,
Definitely.
Will, what happened there? I'm seeing a yellow card, mate. What's happened? Break it down for us.
Yeah,
Wow.
Michael Keane with the most northern tackle you'll ever see since Project Restart. Come flying in a derby, taking nothing apart from Mane. Yellow card. I don't think it would be worse, but yellow card for Michael Keane.
Yeah, it was just like very, very late, wasn't it? It was very, very, very crude, very late, and it's probably the very much deserved yellow card. Nothing more.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I love that.
But his trim looks
So are we going to get a goal?
I hope so.
Okay.
With Trent there, I'm not sure who's going to take Jordan or Trent. I believe it's Trent. Definitely it's Trent.
Yeah. Trent against his England colleague,
I would say
Pickford.
put Van Dijk on this. This was his position.
Okay. Good hands.
A fairly decent effort, a little bit tame from Trent, but it's on target. No doubt he's using that to get his eye in. And second half, let's hope to see that wand of a right foot put Everton to the sword. And I don't know why I'm taking sides. Maybe because Jose's a Liverpool fan, but whatever. Okay, Will, let's get some questions. Maybe for the sakes of balance, should we make it about Everton?
Yeah,
I'll throw you under the bus there, but...
No, it's fine. Even different balance from that. Let's talk about the referee. Dave, start with you. Mike Dean rocking facial hair. What do you think of that? Your immediate thoughts, please.
Yeah, just when you think you can't get any more peak Mike Dean, he's going against this stupid thing across his boat. It's just ridiculous. I have got no time for that man whatsoever. With all due respect. So there you go.
Doesn't make it better if you say with all due respect to you.
Well, there's a sub coming on, because I realised maybe I shouldn't have said that about Mike Dean, but we are where we are, you know what I mean? Joe Gomez looks like he's coming on for James Milner. He looks like he's picked up a little bit of a niggle, probably a little muscle injury here. Probably, just he's not getting any younger. Maybe he hasn't quite, like the fitness levels aren't quite up to where they were, but...
How dare you accuse James Milner's fitness of not being where it should be?
He's fantastic. He's absolutely fantastic
every single year, doesn't he? Dave,
no, he's absolutely fantastic specimen of a man. But I was just trying to get myself out of the referee hole that I kind of put myself in, mate.
Yeah,
so,
you keep bringing us back to it. I didn't even think it was that bad, but now it is.
Jose, just for you, just on...
go on, Will.
I was just going to say, obviously, Mike Dean, renowned for causing a stir or two. Was there any referees that you absolutely hated?
To be honest with you, no. To be honest, obviously, as a defender, I never have any problems, really. I never got a red card. I got a red card when I was in Celta Vigo once, but I never got any, if I remember wrong. I don't think I had ever a red card. So I wasn't really a tackly defender. I used to used to use my body to take the ball away. So I never have problem with any referees, to be honest. And so nothing to compare. If you speak to Luis Suarez, probably he can tell you more about someone, but not myself.
Just revisiting Spanish football very briefly. What do you make of the title race at the moment? Obviously, Real Madrid 3 points behind Barcelona, and they play Sociedad tonight. What are your thoughts on that?
I believe Madrid is going to take it, in my opinion. I don't see Barcelona playing really well. Obviously, still games, and we'll see what happens. But I don't know. I think Real Madrid has come back quite strong, quite well.
Yeah.
For me, meaning with obviously what's happening. Obviously, that the teams are not 100% yet. But even then, you can see Real Madrid, in my opinion, a bit of ahead of Barcelona right now. It can change, but let's see, Mane.
I believe that was a big chance for Minamino, and I was obviously taking in what Jose was saying, but that was probably Liverpool's best move, at least that I've digested, of the half. Naby Keita central to some really nice, quick exchanges there. And there's a player, Jose. A lot more to come from Naby Keita in a Liverpool shirt.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, he's been very unlucky with injuries. Everyone is talking about how good he's been since come back from lockdown. That's why he's starting today, obviously. Uh,
Yeah.
and I believe, obviously, Liverpool spent a lot of money on him. I believe his chance now to prove that he's worth it to be in the team. And that's why I believe as well Klopp is going to give him the chance. For me, he has the quality to be a Liverpool player. Obviously, he has to be a bit more lucky with the injuries as well, because I believe when he's been on the pitch and he's been fit, he's been performing quite well for the team, but he's been really, really unlucky with the injuries.
Yeah, he has. And let's hope that he can put in a shift here and possibly make the difference. The size of James Milner's legs, they're like tree trunks. There's not enough ice at Goodison. Right. Let's go to some questions, William. What are the people saying just before half-time as the game winds down?
Yes, well, one for you, Jose, and then we'll go around the panel as well. Who for you is the best Spanish player to ever play in the Premier League?
That's a difficult question. For me, that I seen, I would have to say David Silva, in my opinion.
Oh,
David
really?
Silva. Yeah, for me, I know he's a player for City, and obviously I could choose easily a Spanish, player that played maybe for Liverpool. But Silva is just been so good for City for so many years. He's been so consistent. I still believe that he could still play next year. I believe is him the one who doesn't want to renew the contract because of family reasons as well.
Yeah.
But he's a player that is fantastic. I love him as a player. Like I said, I used to play with him, and I know his qualities, and it's unbelievable how good he's been through the years. I believe he's 10th season this season, if I'm not wrong, with City, and he's been always performing well. You cannot call one season that he's been bad. Even when his child was really poor, and he wasn't able to be focused 100% on football, he was playing fantastic for the team as well. So I would say David Silva.
Yeah,
is he coming back to Valencia to be your neighbour
as well, isn't he?
His family live here. His mom live here. His dad live here. Like I say, I know him Silva very, very well. Not just because we play in Celta Vigo together. We play here. You have like a communities. Here, for example, is the Comunidad Valenciana, that is Valencia, Alicante, and Castellón. Then you have Madrid. You have Catalonia. You have places like that. And then we play against each other and the under 16 and under 18. And Silva, I know he's from Canarias, but he lived in Valencia from very long time, from very young. So what he did, he played with me from under 16, under 18, under 20. So I know him very well, and he's been always a player that he's been ahead of his age. Always been, even in the national team, under 20, under 21, he's always, you could see he was different to everyone else.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. What an icon. Living legend for City that David Silva is. So you just saw their half-time scenes from Goodison. It's been a fairly drab game so far, 0-0. Hopefully that just means that fireworks will erupt second half and we'll see Jose Enrique jump in his swimming pool outside when Divock Origi comes on.
I hope so.
To
I will
slay
jump on
Everton
it, don't worry.
once more. That'd be class. That'd be class if you just returned just sodden.
Drenched. Yeah, I love that.
Don't give me ideas. Eh? If you want me to make a bet, if they win, I jump on the pool. Okay? Let's do it.
I love that.
What an iconic bet that would be on Football Social.
That'd be gold.
Right, Will, it's half time. Loads of questions is normally, what we do here. Sorry, I thought I was disconnecting there for a second. Didn't need to know about that. Let's go straight over to you then. Let's get through him.
Jose, you mentioned Mike Ashley. Obviously, he treated you really well, but a lot of us have never seen him or very sparingly hear from him. What was he like as a man?
To be honest, as a man, to me, I can talk personally. To me, he's always been good. It's true that as well, we didn't see him much in the training ground, really. But with me, he's always been good. The times he's always been good. And obviously, I know people at Newcastle are not very happy with him. And in one point, I wasn't happy either. But he was a good man to me, in every way. When I wanted to leave the club as well, he put it easy for me as well. So I have no complaints about him. But like I said before, at the end, I believe it's the time for him to sell the club if he wants, because I believe obviously the team's been struggling for a few seasons now. They sacked Rafa Benitez when he was doing well for them. So I believe it's the right time.
Did you ever share a night out with him, even after some championship winning celebrations?
He was in the night out with us there, but obviously he was obviously more with the sporting director, with Lee and the manager and all of that, not really with the players. But I talked to him as well, and he was nice. Obviously a bit wasn't my partner all night, but obviously a bit, And he was, like I said, he was always nice to me. I have no complaints about that.
Nice. Jose, when did you first hear about Newcastle's interest when you were at Villarreal? And what did you think? Did you know much about the club at the time?
Yeah, I know it was a big club in England. Obviously, people as well have to realize that before it wasn't like now. The Premier League, obviously you knew about the Premier League, but it wasn't like now that you could have the Premier League watching it at home here in Spain with you pay the channel and you can watch the Premier League if you want. Before it wasn't like that 12 years ago or 14 years ago. So obviously about Newcastle, I know it's a team that obviously about Alan Shearer, that they played in the Champions League before, that they played the Europa League as well the year before I arrived. And then they got interested. I remember completely after I finished the season, they already were asking about me. Obviously, they were asking for the price. They came and see me live in pre-season games as well. And after a bit, a few months, to be honest, it was a bit hard because I knew they were interested. The contract was more or less sorted between us. But Villarreal didn't want to sell me for a less price. So it was a quite nervous time for me. But then at the end, they agreed the transfer fee and I left there. And it was one of the best decisions I made because obviously then I stayed 9 years in the Premier League. 8, 1 year in the Championship. And obviously I met my partner there as well when I played for Liverpool. So all happy days.
Love it.
Stuff. Well, I just thought that would be a good opportunity for you to come back in on there on the Championship. Surely this is your opportunity to speak to someone else about the Championship, mate.
Thank you, Jose. I've been on the show for nearly 2 years now, and it's great to designate a segment to it. When you went down to the Championship, did you notice the difference in quality? I mean, 10 years ago, was it a more physical game down there?
It was physical, very physical. You could see, because the Premier League was really physical because was a lot of English managers then in the Premier League as well. So the game was a lot, obviously, long balls and really, like proper Premier League game, I would call it, like really fight, really elbows everywhere, tackles everywhere, in the Championship was like exactly the same, but like you said, with maybe less quality on the players. Maybe no, obviously less quality on the players. That's why it was the second division, and that was a little bit of the difference. But the teams, every game we played, obviously we had an amazing team for the Championship, but it was difficult. The fans, the stadium was full all the time because obviously we were the best team in the Championship, So it was a beautiful season for me, to be honest. As personal wise, it was beautiful. I really enjoyed, Obviously, I scored against Nottingham Forest as well, when that make us fully promoted as well. So it was a beautiful year for me because it was the year that it makes me completely adapt to the English football that year.
Nice. That's a good point to come back in on with regards to English football, because we can hear now from two of England's young stars, Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Trent Alexander-Arnold, in our halftime feature.
Trent, football's finally back. How's the wait been?
Just it feels good to be back. It's the best feeling that we've had is to be back with the boys, with the staff. To be back now is an amazing feeling. And
Dominic, first of all, I imagine you're feeling quite excited at the moment.
I am, yeah. It's been a long time waiting and sitting in the house and waiting to get back going. But I think it was frustrating, to stop when I did. I was enjoying my football and being on the pitch. But it is what it is. There's been bigger matters going on in the world, but looking forward to getting going again.
Be honest, how many times have you thought about winning the Premier League?
A lot. I've thought about it a lot. Think about it all the time because it's something that motivates me.
And how has that motivation been from the manager during lockdown, trying to get you ready for finally returning to football?
Unbelievable. I think that every player will say we're just so excited to get going and to keep doing the things that we were doing. Over the last two years has been phenomenal, the form that we've shown. So for us, it's about getting back to them ways.
What about this time that you've had with Carlo Ancelotti? Because what you guys didn't have together was a pre-season. So does that feel like that's what you've had now?
I think so, yeah. It's given us time away from the pressure of the Premier League to get together and work on things in training and tactics and different systems that we want to try and play, which perhaps we wouldn't have had that opportunity so soon. So it's been good to get together and focus on things that we can do to make ourselves a better team.
There's been a real drive from players within the Premier League itself, the FA supporting the same movement with Black Lives Matter. How important do you think it is now that there is this much focus and this much support?
Obviously, a part of me is disappointed that it's still 2020 and these things have to happen first and foremost. But to be able to see everyone using such a big platform, like you said, the FA, the Premier League, the players, the staff, everyone getting behind the movement is what's needed.
The platform that football provides is absolutely huge worldwide, and I think that as a platform has to be used to help change. And when you see the racial incidents that happened with Raheem playing for England and ones that have happened in the Premier League over the past couple of years, how they, from my point of view, slightly got brushed under the carpet, and I don't think they were disciplined in a severe enough way. How the Premier League and how football handles racism should be with great severity, because there's no place for it in the world. And I think for as long as players are getting fined more for perhaps showing an advertisement on their boxer shorts or whatever it is, then players are for being racist, then that's morally wrong, and I think that has to change.
Raheem Sterling has been very vocal as well, always using his platform and using his position as well in football to affect the wider society. How important is it that you have role models like that as well for the younger generation?
Raheem's massive. I think he's a role model on and off the pitch for a lot of young people, and he's someone that a lot of people look up to. Like for me, he's someone that I look up to in that respect. I want to be using my platform to be pushing the same things, the same beliefs, my beliefs in the same way that he does.
I want to win this game, but is there an extra level of motivation because you know that Liverpool are chasing the title?
For Everton fans, it would mean a lot to them to kind of have that over on Liverpool, but at the same time, as a player, I think the Merseyside derby is equally as important every time.
Especially because it's a derby, it's always a different kind of feel to the game. There's always a bit more tension. There's always a bit more passion in them games from each set of fans. But I think now you take that away and it's purely down to what happens on the pitch. It'll be a tough game. We know that we're in a good position to go there and hopefully win. We've got to bring our A game like we always do, and I think it's important that we start the game fast and we set the tempo with it being at Goodison, regardless if there's fans there or not.
Good luck. Enjoy it. Football is back, and I imagine it's the best thing that you can expect. It must be a brilliant feeling for all people that are involved in football. So good luck at the weekend, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great piece by Woodsy there. I mean, Dominic Calvert-Lewin spoke about Everton bringing their A game. What do we make of their performance in the first 45, Dave? It's not been terribly exciting, but they've not allowed Liverpool to really hit those heights either, have they?
Yeah, no, I think Everton will be quite happy with their first half performance. There was a few half chances of Liverpool, but that's about it, really. I think from Liverpool, from an Everton point of view, as I said, I think they'll be reasonably happy. They've got a few decent players on the bench to potentially come on as well and actually change it. But it's kind of on Liverpool to come and beat them, really. If they want that title on Wednesday, they've got to come and break Everton down. So as I said, I think Everton will be quite happy with their first half performance.
Yeah, I mean, in recent ties, Jose, we've seen Liverpool's youngsters beat the Everton first team pretty much. We've seen cagey last-minute winners with Jordan Pickford gifting a goal to Virgil van Dijk. What do you anticipate is going to happen second half? Any tactical changes, any change in approach from either side maybe?
I believe they're going to stick to the same. I believe they're going to stick Everton with 4-4-2 and Liverpool with 4-3-3. I believe that now in the second half, we want to see more intensity. I believe the players, they want to see how they feel as well. It's a strength, definitely, without fans, after a long period of time without playing, no pre-season games. At the end, you go straight into playing for, points. So it's not that easy. So maybe they've been trying themselves and see how they feel. And obviously, Klopp maybe work his magic now in the players as well, talking to them, and hopefully they come back in the second half as powerful as they are, and they have few chances as well. And I'm sure Everton is happy with the draw, but Liverpool is not going to be happy with the draw. So let's see if they can go and win this game.
Yeah, lest we forget they have a Mo Salah as well, don't they, in reserve? Will, let's go to some more questions then, buddy.
Yes, one here from Vicky 90. She says, what are some of your favourite memories from the Merseyside derby, Jose?
For me, it's a special game. And I know it's 3 points like any other game, but it's a special game for the players, for the club, for the most important for the fans. At the end, obviously, it's a lot of Liverpool fans, it's a little bit of Everton fans. And, obviously, it's a thing, between friends and fans. When obviously, if you win the game, the day after is the thing you talk about in the city, because both teams are from the same city. And obviously, it's a special game. It's a special game. It's a special atmosphere when you play. But like I say, now, obviously, the atmosphere is not there. The fans are not there. So I'm sure the players, they will try to be, obviously, a derby. But even then, it's not going to be a proper derby like it will be with fans, definitely.
Yeah, we've seen the effect this has had, haven't we, on home and away advantage, whichever way you want to position it. And it's certainly made things a little bit more unpredictable, maybe a bit more tepid as well. But let's hope, like you said, the players really shift it up a gear second half, because they will want bragging rights, won't they? And are we seeing some substitutions here? We can confirm that Oxlade-Chamberlain is entering the fray. Not quite clear who for at the moment. We haven't seen a board. We haven't seen anyone come off. There we go for Minamino, who had some bright patches at the start of the game, but probably didn't seize the opportunity, Jose.
Yeah, I believe he's not been playing for a long time. It's his first season as well. So give him time. Liverpool didn't expect much money on him, that's the reality. So give him time to adapt. And I believe, I have to be honest with you, I believe Chamberlain, if he doesn't get injured in the rest of the games, I believe he can be a really big impact from the bench. Like he can be out, because like you can see the players is going to be more tired than normal. He didn't play any game, even if it's friendly games, what they play is not the same. And he's a guy that he's really strong, he's really quick, he's really fast, and he's full of energy right now. He didn't play the first 45 minutes, so he can make a difference. Like maybe when he's coming into from the bench, that I'm sure it will depends how the game is going. I'm sure he's gonna get it. No long period.
Absolutely. And sort of lest we forget, it took some very prominent first-team players a little while to break in under the Jurgen Klopp system. I remember an interview with Andy Robertson where he said it took him 6 months to really get to a level where he could deliver, where he could execute Jurgen Klopp's game plan. It's not just a side that you slot into seamlessly most of the time, is it? It has to learn a very particular way of playing, of pressing, of linking up with his fellow teammates. So, like Jose said, much more to come from Minamino in the future, but didn't have the biggest impact in this game. And now Oxlade-Chamberlain will be hoping to seize his opportunity, because he's been unfortunate in his Liverpool career. And do you feel, from having gone through that same sort of period yourself, Jose, where you're in the team, you're established, but then injury kind of disrupts that rhythm?
No, I'm sure he's been struggling, mentally wise with that, because at the end, injuries is what he does. He drains you, mentally wise, and sometimes he will play with fear with that. But like I say, he proved himself at Arsenal from a really, really young age. I believe he's done well for Liverpool. He's been fit, and we got him. I believe it was £25 million in that time. That it was I believe it's a good price for a player of his quality. Obviously, if he can stay fit, is someone that I believe he can give a lot to Liverpool, and I really believe from the bench right now in the next few games, when everyone is tired, with his speed and his power, he can really make an impact in the team.
Dave, when he left from Arsenal, how do you remember feeling?
I have nothing but good wishes for Oxlade-Chamberlain, and whenever he played for Arsenal, he'd give 100%. Right, I remember a game against Bayern Munich. We were getting absolutely battered, and he was the only one trying, right? And he's got such a good work ethic, and he's someone who will give everything for the team that he's playing for. And I think it was. You look now, it's probably a mistake for Arsenal to let him go. But I think it was actually brave of him to say that I actually want to go and see if I can go and break into a team elsewhere. And you look at it now, the way that Arsenal have gone compared to where Liverpool have gone, it was 100% the right decision. So fair play to him. So nothing but respect for Oxlade-Chamberlain, and I look back nothing but fondly on that player. So I actually wish him all the best, and he's going to win he's going to win the title this season. So fair play to him.
Yeah, I believe obviously when you change for a better team, you know what I mean? You have to accept it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheers,
just a quick update on the game then, because Joe Gomez was storming down the left, obviously required to play in James Milner's absence on that left-hand side. Uncharted territory for him, but he won his side a corner that Everton have managed to clear. Not sure about Jordan Pickford's facial hair either, but maybe we'll pick up on that later. Dave mentioned Oxlade-Chamberlain as a man with an unbelievable work ethic, and we have one of those in the studio in the form of Will Brazier. If anyone is looking for a 6'4" Brummy to be the face of their brand, rumour has it he is available. Will, what questions are being fired your way in Social Corner?
Thanks, Chris, but I am 6'5". One here from Bobby H. He says, as a fullback, would you love to be part of this Liverpool side, Jose?
Well, obviously, of course, it's amazing, I'm sure I will be a backup with the way Robertson is playing, so I will be that's the reality. But I would love to be in that Liverpool team. And I believe any player in the world right now would love to be in that Liverpool team. You could see even Mbappe, that is one of the best strikers in the world. He talks so good about the team and how they doing. Apart from how they're doing, is how they're playing as well. Not just winning things, it's how they're winning things as well. It's a very intense game with top. How for me it's so incredible how he make Klopp. Top players like Salah, like Mane, like Firmino, that is your front three, all of them running like crazy, like all for each other, all for a team. And that's it's so great to Klopp, really, to make this type of player with that quality run that much, for the team. And because it's very difficult. You see Real Madrid when Cristiano used to play there, or Bale was on his prime, that doesn't maybe go run back or whatever, and this team is just everyone put his 120% into every game, and that's why they're doing so well. And obviously, it's quality there. It's a lot of quality. So it will be lovely. Obviously, it will be lovely to be in that spot.
Yeah, a lot of
Chris,
humility.
I've actually got a question for Jose.
Go on,
that's all
Dave.
right. I was going to ask Jose.
Dave, you can't ask Dave. No, Jose, don't reply to him. I ask the questions around here, Dave. Stop trying to take my role, mate. Go on, pal.
Mate, you could definitely have it, mate. I'm telling you. What was I going to say? I just wanted to ask Jose, who was like the toughest player that you remember playing against? Who was the player the night before that would kind of give you a few nightmares? Like, I'm playing against this player this week. Who was like the toughest player you remember playing against?
To be honest, in the Premier League it's always difficult to play. Every team, they have money to spend in players. I remember, obviously, Aaron Lennon, Ben Arfa, Cristiano, when he used to play in United, and I played for Newcastle. But really, I used to play against Bale as well when he used to play for Tottenham on the right side, sometimes on the left. So, but to be honest, nightmares or anything, they never give me anyone. I love it to play against this type of players because you love to prove yourself against them. You know, at the end, to be honest, it's no much to lose because you play against the best players in the world. You know, in this case, obviously talking about Cristiano or Bale in his time, you know, whatever. And you are motivated to play against them. I used to love to play against the best because you can prove yourself if you can be there or not. And I used to love it. But obviously, you have to be always 100%. I remember, you know, like you said, the night before, not having nightmare, but always you play maybe against Harold Lennon, you know what he's going to do, but you know he's really fast. You say, hey, tonight I'm going to eat maybe less to weight that half a kilo less, you know, to tomorrow be a bit faster for him. You know, because he's really fast, and I need to go for him, and I need to beat him. You know, and it was lovely. It was lovely. The Premier League is really, really tough league to play. Yeah.
Oh, great stuff. Yeah, cool.
So you spoke about Jurgen Klopp there. No, you're welcome, mate. It's a great question. I'm logging off now, lads. All right. You spoke about Jurgen Klopp, Jose, getting the best out of that front three, or at least, you know, making them work with a certain degree of humility. But what manager in your career would you say got the best out of you performance-wise?
I will believe it was, I don't know, Chris Hughton got me in really good shape in Newcastle. Then in Liverpool, Kenny was key for me as well because he wanted me from the start and he gave me so much confidence as well. Even if sometimes it's very difficult to understand him, you know, when he speaks, because he's you know, Scottish. You know, jokes apart, he's a top man, you know. And then Brendan
accent,
yeah. And Brendan for me was a very good manager, very good manager that teach me a lot. I believe obviously he came from Swansea. It was a big step for him. Even he nearly won the title with Liverpool. But I believe he's a top manager, and I believe he's going to finish obviously he's doing really well for Leicester, but I believe he's going to finish in a top team again, in a top 4 team again. Obviously Leicester is there right now. I'm talking about the likes of Chelsea, or you don't know, even Liverpool in the future, or this type of...
Well, he was already at a top team, Jose, at Celtic, mate, I'll have you know. So...
well, he was Celtic there, obviously, not in the best league in the world.
Team. You've just gone from up there. I'm kidding, of course. What did I want to ask you? I wanted to ask you about the transition from Dalglish to Brendan Rodgers, because that feels like one manager who's very old school and one manager who's very new in his approach. Would that be a fair comparison?
Well, at the end, Kenny, both of them, they knew what they were doing. They had it very clear the way they were playing, you know, and Kenny, like you said, was more old school playing. No, he had it very clear. He was a manager of Liverpool before. And like I say, don't underrate that year, because at the end we won one title and nearly won another one. So he did his job, really, in my opinion. And then he brought players that, look, Jordan Henderson is the captain of Liverpool, and he was the one who brought it. But Brendan was more of a tiki-taka in a way, you know. Yeah, and obviously I came from Spain. I love it, this type of way of playing. So for me, it was really more in favor of me, you know. And obviously Klopp, that I didn't mention him before. I didn't experience him as much as a player playing under him, but obviously in training, I trained with him a lot, and it's unbelievable, you know, that what this guy does, you know, what this guy does and make you do, you know, as a player. The intensity he made you go in trainings and push you is unbelievable. That's why Liverpool is the way it's doing. Obviously, we have an amazing team, we have an amazing players, but the manager for me is such a key role. The club changed everything in Liverpool.
Yeah, fascinating insight, mate. Thank you, and I'm glad we agree. Celtic are a massive club as well. So I can for that. Let's go back to Will in Fans Corner, mate. What are people saying in the comments?
Quick one here. 2 quick questions. One for Jose straight away. Have you texted Chris Hughton to tell him to come to Birmingham, Jose?
No, definitely no.
That's a mark against your name there, Jose. Great to have you on the show. Won't be your last.
You will not talk to me anymore.
Right, let's rain. And Dave, Arsenal, sorry to bring the negatives back, but what did you think of Neil Maupay's challenge?
Look, I think it definitely wasn't intentional. He hasn't meant to hurt the keeper, but there was no need to do it. Like I think that's the thing. Obviously, he doesn't know that Leno's ain't going to twist his knee. But I can hear him winding me up. So I was very, very annoyed, to say the least.
I do not believe that was your reaction at the time.
I was extremely angry at the time. No, but I just feel like there was no need to do it. Like if you look, he's already got the ball in his hands with two hands, and then he's gone into him. Like what? And
but is it significant enough movement? Like it's just a little arm, isn't it?
No, it's not. As I said, like I don't think for one minute he's intentionally tried to do him, as it were. But there was no need to make the challenge. Like there was just absolutely no need. And I was, and now we are in massive trouble now because without him, this season, it's going to go from bad to worse. I just had when at the top of the show, I didn't actually realise that we dropped down to 10th after Crystal Palace's win. Like we're 10th in the Premier League with only 8 games to go. It's
you got Rob Holding, Dave, so don't worry about it.
He actually didn't play too bad yesterday. Yeah, he actually didn't play too bad yesterday, even though it was probably his fault for their first goal. So yeah, like, even the positives are not actually that positive. So yeah, brilliant. Cheers for that. Cheers for that question, Will.
It took 2 or 3 attempts, but we got Dave there in the end.
Cheers, mate.
I didn't realise how much trouble we were in. What a soundbite for Arsenal's season. It's gone from Champions League to deep trouble. Come on, we'll crack on, mate. 2 excellent questions. Keep them coming.
Jose, for you, obviously you have retired from football now, but management, coaching, is that something you're looking to get into?
Never say no to anything in life because you never know, but it's not something I'm looking, to be honest, right now. No. I'm a football legend right now. I mean, I'm really, really enjoying it. So it's not, obviously I don't know about the future, but I don't think so.
What are some of your passions outside of football then, post-retirement? What have you been getting into?
Well, I've been doing, obviously, like I said, I'm a football legend now. Then, well, I'm just doing some fitness things now with Herbalife as well. And then, obviously, I'm doing a lot of TV as well. That's more or less what I'm doing and enjoying it, to be honest.
Clients, Jose?
Yeah, you need some help.
I think my style suits the continent. I've never been appreciated on British shores. So if you can get me a trial at, I don't know, maybe the Segunda division, I think I might fare well there.
Or maybe they never talk to me again. Maybe, no?
I assure you. Do you remember Lee Catamol? That's pretty much how I play.
I remember him.
Yeah. Definitely, that would definitely be a black mark against your name. Right, Will, back to you.
Yeah, Dave, one for you. We've just seen Gordon come off. You've been keeping a close eye. What did you make of his first start in the Merseyside derby?
I think you could be very proud of his first. He's got 60 minutes under his belt. I don't think he did anything. That he could have done any better. Hold on, Everton through here now.
We've got Ricky.
Richarlison. It's been extremely well defended there. Extremely well recovered there by Joe Gomez, because it looked like Richarlison was in here. It's a lovely little ball kind of dinked over the Liverpool backline. Richarlison's through, and it's actually Matip. He makes a fantastic covering challenge there, and the ball's gone out for a corner, I believe. So half a chance there for Everton. Maybe if Richarlison's fully fit, he's on that a little bit quicker. But a very good recovering challenge, and it actually went for Liverpool goal kick. But now Liverpool back on the attack. Mane is driving forward, and he's been brought down. It's a free kick. It's a free kick on the edge of the Everton box. Massive chance here now, and a yellow card for the Everton player. So it's starting to spice up a little bit, Christopher Hamill. We're starting to get it. Will's starting to get the metaphors in. Jose's getting ready to put his swimming trunks on. He's going in the pool in a minute. I can feel it. I have them already.
They're ready.
Jose's doing his part. It's about time the game stepped up and we had a goal. just for the record, that looked like a good tackle by Luca Digne on the edge of the box on Sane. So there might be a certain amount of controversy if this goes in. Luca Digne has been booked. It looked to be a fantastic tackle, actually. And he's had a hell of a season for Everton, hasn't he? Luca Digne. Trent, like we said earlier, got his eye in after that first attempt. I'd just like to say, in the build-up to this free kick, that the young man coming off there, he came on for Gylfi Sigurdsson, who cost Everton upwards of £40 million. Now, if that's not a bit of an insight into how bad Everton's transfer policy has been, or how disjointed it's been between the various different managers, then I don't know what is. Jose, Everton spending a lot of money. Maybe we'll have to answer this after the free kick. In seasons gone by, do you Trent? It's gone over. It's gone over. When you see Everton spending that much money, should we expect them to be, higher up the table? How long? How much more do they have to spend before, securing Champions League football? And that is a big question, but one that needs answering, Jose, to be frank.
To be honest, obviously spending, it can help you obviously get better players. Obviously they got players from Barcelona, like Jeremina and Gomez as well and everything like that. But at the end, it's not just about spending, it's signing the right player. I believe obviously they have Richarlison as well, Carl Lewis in front as well. So they have good team. Don't get me wrong, they have good team, but obviously, as well, changing the manager, and all of that, you need stability in the club. You need to, as well, believe in someone. In this case, if it's Carlo Ancelotti, don't sack him if he gets 5 games bad right now and sack him at the end of the season, because you're going to come back to the start again. And another manager is going to come back and maybe doesn't want the players he signed, and then you just start over and over again. So, in my opinion, they should stick with, obviously, Carlo Ancelotti. He proved himself for a lot of years already. Try to obviously listen to him in the signings, and I'm sure they will improve because they are spending good money in players.
Yeah, I think you're right. If Carlo Ancelotti can't get it right, then the Everton hierarchy need to maybe start looking a bit more inwards. Okay, we've got another price boost for you from our sponsors, Sky
Yes. Oh, we're well out of sync there, Will. We're well out of sync.
Bit of delay there. What a terrible start to that price boost. Mane to score the first goal in this game, which feels like it's edging closer to it. 6-1. Odds accurate at the time of recording and are subject to change. They have to be 18 plus to play along. And Will, what is happening in the bottom right of my screen? You look like you're having an episode. Excited about some of the questions coming in or what? All right, fair enough.
Yeah, that's me just cheering up some fan support.
Let's have some more. Well, guys, before we go to Will, please get your questions to him in the comments below. Hit us up on Twitter, possibly even Instagram as well. Just every single social media platform. Get involved because we've got half an hour left and we need to see goals. Will.
Yeah, content is king, and we need some content. Jose, obviously into the agency world now. Traditionally, over here, we've always viewed football agents maybe in a negative light. Did you have negative experiences for your career, and what made you want to get into that side of it?
Well, to be honest, I've been looking in that way because when I started with an agent that is called Alberto Toldrá. He is quite big here in Valencia. He has Roberto Soldado, and he has other players that came out from here. But then my brother, obviously, that my brother always loved football, and he see a big chance with me playing in Villarreal in La Liga that he could get involved in that, and I stick with him all my career. And he's done really, really well. He was working for Wasserman, a big company in the UK as well for 5 years. Yeah. And now he's doing by himself. Before obviously I arrived, he was doing by himself. And to be honest, we're doing quite well. Last January, we did Gonzalo Villar from Elche, that is a team that is in the second division in Spain, to Rome, first team, a 21-year-old player, midfield. 2 years ago with Jefferson Lerma as well, from Levante to Bournemouth as well. So is for 30 million, that one as well. So we are doing quite well, to be honest. But as well, what I like about this is being a player before. I would love to the way I'm treating the players is the way I would love to treat me when I was a player. You know, so I don't like to lie to the players. I talk to them after every single game. I watch all La Liga, first division and second division games, all every week now. Every day I watch as many as possible. Obviously, it's impossible to watch them all because I believe it's 6 a day sometimes. It's impossible.
Yeah.
But I try my best, you know, and being just honest. Like I say, I try to do. Obviously, it's my job. You try to do business. You try to win money from it as well. And whoever say the opposite lies. That's the reality. But don't take it the honestly from. And I'd rather to lose a player telling what I really believe. That tell him a lie, you know, win money from it, and he can talk shit or bad about me. And sorry for that word, you know, but I'd rather to be, I'd rather to be honest, you know, I'd rather to be honest because that's the way I am and the way I loved it to be the people to me, you know. So if I lose a player because I've been honest, that it already happens to me, to be honest, with one player here in La Liga. I was very, very honest with him and his dad, and I lost him because of that. Because I didn't promise him that I'm going to take him to a team and win so much money, and someone else did, and still in the same team as he used to play. But obviously, he signed with someone else. So it's what it is. It doesn't matter. I will still be in the same person, and it comes the person before, you know, any business. So that's the way I go, and it's going quite well like this, so I'm going to keep going that way.
Never doubt Jose Enrique. That's what I'm taking from that. Jackson, just for you as well, from this game, Mo Salah, not been seen yet. What do you think? We're going to see him?
I think definitely. I know they've got a game on Wednesday, but you know, they've got one substitution left, haven't they? And if I was them, you know, last 15 minutes, last 10 minutes even, you know, just he is a very, very special player. But I think if anyone's going to break the deadlock, it's going to be Mane. I think they need to try and get Mane on the ball a little bit more. I think he's going to be key for Liverpool here to unlock this Everton defence, where he can just drive at them, pick up the ball and just run, and, you know, just drive at this Everton back four, because they will definitely get more tired, right? You know, they're definitely not being match fit, and you're kind of hoping that, you know, they can maybe expose you know, a few like kind of frailties there. So yeah, for me it's going to be Mane, even though I think Mo Salah will definitely come on. Yeah.
And the bits I've taken in, Naby Keita has really driven the game on. So it's good to see him, you know, starting to hit the sort of form that we'd expect from him, because he was absolutely fantastic at RB Leipzig. And Football Daily, you know, we like to put our money where our mouth was, and we backed him as a really, really good signing. So nice to see that come to fruition, just for my ego. Fascinating insight into the world of being an agent, Jose. Can you maybe take us through the process a little bit more? So for those that don't know sort of what goes into it, how do you look after a player? How do you do your player justice? What is the day-to-day like for a good, conscious football agent?
To be honest, the best thing in the world is being a footballer, in my opinion. Being an agent is not easy. Obviously, people seeing that they win so much money, Jorge Mendes, you know, Radiola, and they are all the time in the press and things like that. But it's like footballers. You see footballers in Liverpool and footballers in second division and footballers in the third division, you know what I mean? So at the end, it's not what you're seeing. It's a lot of work behind. It's players that I still talking to them, and they are not our players yet, and maybe I've been talking to them for 2 seasons in a row right now.
Yeah.
So it's for me, it's easy because I do it normally, but you have to watch them, talk to them after the game, keep in touch, really, without being your player, really, you know. And so it's not easy, but for me, I love it because I have no complaints, because I love it. You know, I love to still get in touch with the players. The players, obviously, they have a lot of respect for me as well, because obviously I've been a player as well myself. So they talk to me as well really well, most of them. So it's something I'm loving it, but it's no easy job, guys. What you're seeing, you know, just to make a deal, it's a lot of work behind, a lot of meetings, you know, because the teams always have few options in that position. At the end, for example, imagine Liverpool need a backup for the left back. they're looking into every single left back in Europe or maybe the world. And it has to be your player, they want to fit them. And if you have one that is good for them, you have to offer them, they have to come and see him. Then you have so many scouts that they have to approve that he's the right player to be the backup. And so it's not simple to do a deal. And obviously, in that period, if you don't move the player, maybe the player is unhappy with you. He wants to change to another agent. So it's not an easy job, but I love it. You know, I love.
Sorry to interrupt, Jose, but my understanding of it is that FIFA or UEFA, one of the governing bodies, it escapes me now, but they sort of made it easier to become a football intermediary. That is how they refer to them now, right? They almost made it easier to become a football agent. So is there a lot of bad football agents? Does that make your job harder?
It's a lot of football agents now. In Spain, just registered as a football agent is 1,000 football agents, just in Spain. And registered, for example, I'm not registered. My brother is registered, and it's enough for us, you know, because he can sign the contract and I am there and it's not a problem. But imagine you don't count me in them 1,000, for example. Imagine it's so many like me, you know, so, and it's so many people that promise so much to the players and we don't want to play. Then it's some agents as well that they obviously charge the players to working for them. We don't do that either. Obviously, it's not a complete respect who does. You know, everyone is completely different. So we have a way of working that I believe is a bit different. And we work with another agents as well. Don't get me wrong. We have players that they are from another agent. So, and we work together. And we are 50-50 and we are happy. And because they're honest and you can work with them. And it's other agents that you cannot work with them because they're just looking for the money. And that's all. So it's like any business, really. It's a fight sometimes, but like I said, I love it, and I love to have the chance to still get involved in football.
Yeah, and you might be one of the only Spanish agents that can understand people from both Newcastle and Liverpool, so that gives you an advantage there, doesn't it? Absolutely superb, unique selling point there. Okay, so there was a sort of half chance there, I guess, for Liverpool. Dangerous cross from the left-hand side into the area. It looked like it was going to take a nick off an Everton centre-half. Not quite sure who it was at the time, but Jordan Pickford collects, and that's probably as close as we've got to a clear-cut chance in the last 10 minutes at the very least. So let's keep the questions coming from Social Corner. Will, you've been saving any? You've been hoarding any?
Yeah, you know me, mate, bit of a hoarder, keeping them fresh. But here's one for Jose. Reshaping the back four. We've seen 3 changes to a back four in this game alone. How hard for that as a defender to build up the continuity that you're so used to?
Yeah, at the end, I believe as well. I'm not sure if Matip, they changed him because he was injured, if I'm not wrong. He got injured as well. That's why they changed him.
I think he picked up a little nick. I think it was a bit of a challenge. I think he'll be fine. But yeah, I think it was like a challenge between the 2 players, and he kind of came down. I think it fell on his ankle a little bit. But I think it'll be fine. Yeah. It's nothing that serious.
So I believe what you just said. You know, coming back obviously after such a long period without playing, really, even if they have their friendlies before this, it's not the same. It's not the same intensity. You don't play for the same, so it's not easy. And more like you say, this game is just been 2 injuries, and it's been Milner that was playing as a left back, and obviously Matip that was playing as a centre back. So obviously it's not easy, and then changing, and then it's games every 3 days. So it's not gonna be very easy because as well, he doesn't. Obviously, the manager as well doesn't want to push the player too much to this game because in 3 days' time you have another game, and the players, I'm sure, they're not gonna be 100% for that game. You know, after playing this game, if you play 90 minutes, because it's normal. They've been 3 months without playing football, so it's gonna be interesting how many really players they still fit all the way through, really, because it's not gonna be easy.
Yeah, I think it might be King Divock Origi, the clutch player, who actually gets Jose Enrique in the swimming pool. And we might have a very special price boost for you later. 5 of his 18 Premier League goals have come against Everton, so he does love this fixture a disproportionate amount. Chordog in the studio, do we have the price boost on Divock? Right, let's go with it. Let's roll. Divock Origi to score next. Just to score even. Sorry, my bad. 12-1. Odds accurate at the time of recording and are subject to change. You have to be 18 plus to play along. Did you two clap in tandem that time? Do you sort it out?
I was actually watching the game.
You're embarrassing.
Yeah, I didn't bother. I was watching the game. Sorry, Will. You ready? Here you go, mate.
Thanks, mate.
It gets worse every time, Jose.
Yeah.
Okay, Dave, you said you were watching the game. How have the last sort of 5 minutes unfurled? Because I'll be honest, I've completely binned the game off to listen to Jose Enrique.
It feels like an international friendly. It's like there is no spark about the game whatsoever. You're just kind of hoping that there's going to be a little bit of like quality come from Liverpool here now, or like Everton, just so we can see like a goal. It's just you don't quite, you don't want to say, oh, is he in it? Is he off?
No, he's off.
Well off. It was a good like finish though, but he was well off. So, is it going to be a little VAR here, or was he just like completely well off? Oh, he's well off. Yeah, he's off. He's offside. Yeah, he's offside.
He's off. Definitely off. Oh.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of hoping Liverpool can nick a goal because we've already got the show for Wednesday sorted out. I mean, we obviously want to see them like win like the title and stuff.
And we want to get Jose Enrique in a swimming pool. Dave,
exactly.
I want to see that.
That's the mate. You don't care about the game. You don't care about the game anymore.
In each of the last 4 Premier League games between Everton and Liverpool, it's been scoreless at half time. So this is par for the course. So we're not being subjected to anything extraordinary. Apparently, this isn't the first time this game's been boring. So we've got another last-minute winner on the cards.
Hopefully.
And if not that, then let's get some great questions from Will. Working you overtime tonight, buddy.
No, so it's good to be back. My project restart starts right now. Jose, for you, one of your former teammates, Joey Barton has got a couple of huge games coming up. 1, did you think he'd get into management? And 2, could you give us a bit of insight maybe behind his coaching?
Obviously, how he's coaching, I don't really obviously know him in that part. I know he was really talkative when he used to play. I know he has that thing that is a bit crazy. And he is. You have to say that. Yeah, he is obviously. But to be honest, no.
Oh, he's in the place.
Is he offside?
2 posts.
He should. I think he should score it. Like, do you see like the second chance?
Break down the game for us, mate.
So it's a really good bit of wing play here, and he's lovely little back heel from Calvin Lewis. And to be fair, it's actually a very good save from Allison. He's managed to palm it out to the left rather than straight into the middle. And then he's kind of scuffed his shot.
Or is that a timely intervention by Joe Gomez?
It's actually a fantastic bit of defending. But yeah, so it's kind of clipped off the back of Gomez's head. It's all Everton at the moment.
From a corner. This is the most exciting 30 seconds we've had all game.
They did. Oh no, but then Liverpool got it back. Sorry, and they've wasted it. So yeah, it's at the moment. Yeah, this is the best bit of possession we've had at the moment for Everton. If there's going to be it's hopefully now it's actually going to come alive, the game. As it starts to get a bit stretched, as players start to get a little bit more tired, hopefully there's a little bit more space for maybe like the more creative players to try and expose at the moment. But yeah, it's hopefully now come alive. We've got 10 minutes to go plus injury time. But yeah, there was a lovely ball whipped in actually, and it was flicked on from at the Everton near post. And
there's a man who knew how to head a ball. Tim Cahill.
Fantastic header ball.
1-0 if that was big Tim on the end of that. Right.
But I think I do think it's going to be a winner though. I actually do think it's going to be a winner, and I think it's going to come to Liverpool. I think Everton are going to get a bit too cocky. But they're in here. It's got to pick someone out. Oh, so greedy.
Post.
So greedy there.
Oh, Jackson.
Richarlison there. He's done so well to hold the ball up. The ball's been played to him. He's created the space. And then Everton have a player open. just outside where the penalty spot is. If he squares the ball to him there, it's a definite Everton goal there. But he's decided to shoot. He's greedy. Alisson makes a very good save. Oh, he's done so well here. He just needs to square the ball. There's an Everton player arriving.
Are you worried, Jose?
Yeah, to be honest,
starting to get worried.
They've been quite dangerous. They have 3 big chances, to be honest. I don't know how they missed the 3 of them. Luckily for us, they did, but hopefully we arrive. We have just one and score it.
I mean, you played with a very talented goalkeeper in Pepe Reina. I mean, he was the reason you had to go in goal for 13 minutes that time. But just how good is Alisson?
Alisson is unbelievable, and Pepe was as well. Obviously, I never trained with Alisson, but Pepe was incredible, and Alisson, how important he's been for Liverpool to win the titles back. I believe he's been a key member of that. You know, he's unbelievable. As a defender, it makes you so secure. You know, to have a top goalkeeper, and he's one of the best in the world. He's up there. You know, for me, with Oblak, probably the best 2 goalkeepers in the world.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, we've interviewed Jan Oblak, legitimately one of the nicest men we've met. Bit of a name drop there. I think my evolution into Smithy is now been finalised. So, but yeah, Jan Oblak, what a guy. Agreed, definitely the top 3 goalkeepers in the world. Right, we've got 7 minutes left on the clock, so get all your questions. If you've not had one farmed out to Jose Enrique yet, what are you playing at? He is taking inquiries with regards to moves to La Liga, so send in your footballing CV and we might make it happen. Get in the comments below, subscribe to both channels. Will, over to you, mate, for the next 2 minutes.
Yeah, one here from KY. He says, which team was Jose's dream to play for as a youngster?
To be honest, I have to be honest with you. Obviously, when I was younger, you support the team of your place, but I never been a supporter really. I used to, obviously I used to support Valencia like my mates, but I really never have I really want to play for Valencia, or I really want to play for Levante, or I really want to play. You know, I just wanted to play football at the topest level, and locally I did, you know, but I didn't have I wanted really to make it to Valencia, and it's something that I'm really missing that I didn't know. To be honest, I didn't really support a team that much. Yeah, I like it Valencia, I like it Valencia to win, but really, I never went to the stadium to watch them, so you cannot call me a proper fan, you know that. So I didn't really have a proper team. What I can tell you, I have a proper player that I really support when I was younger, and I loved him watching play, and it was Ronaldo, the Brazilian. But as a team, I cannot say one, to be honest.
Yeah, nice.
I thought you'd been down the Mestalla. Go on, Dave. Take over. What's happening?
I'm just looking at Liverpool now. Like they it's almost as if like they're running out of ideas a little bit. They're trying to get the diagonal ball in to try and get a flick back across goal, but it doesn't really seem to be happening. If you're being honest, like obviously I don't want to jinx it from an Everton point of view, but it's actually quite comfortable for them. You know, Divock Origi has just picked up a yellow card. You know, he's clearly getting frustrated. He's not getting the ball where he wants it, so he can actually drive it. Kind of like the Everton back four. It's very, very comfortable for Everton at the moment. But you know, I don't know, because I discovered something yesterday with this like 3 phases that you can make substitutions. So I don't know if Klopp's got another one of these to come, but if he had, surely it's time for Mo to come on and at least provide a different kind of threat than what's currently going on at the moment. But we'll
otherwise he's ruined our show for next week, hasn't he? So
exactly,
get him on, Jurgen, mate. Come on, we're supposed to be celebrating the title next week. Right. Will, please hit us up with a few more questions, buddy. Last 5.
Just an observation, really, from me. I just can't understand the Mike Dean beard, to be honest, because at this time you can't go to the hairdressers, but his head and his scalp is perfectly cut. And you can maintain a beard during this time, but that's maybe another point for another day.
Absolutely
Victor
horrendous.
says for Jose, any Spanish youngsters we should keep an eye out on, Jose?
Well, to be honest, is here in the second division is quite good young players. To be honest, and in the La Liga as well is one that is called Oscar that he plays for Leganés on loan from Madrid. That is amazing. Then obviously Odegaard, we nearly signed him as well. Liverpool, he plays for Real Sociedad and obviously is on loan from Real Madrid. So it's a very good player right now in La Liga. To be honest, even in the second division, is quite good young players that. Coming up, like you could see, like I told you, we just did a play from the second division to Rome. That is really a top team in Italy. So it's quite good young players to come in on. But obviously, you can mention Odegaard, Oscar. You have Oyarzabal as well. That is really young. Is one that I love as well from Real Sociedad. That is Isaac, the striker, really, really good player. I believe he's going to be a top striker, definitely. So yeah, it's a lot of good players out there, definitely.
Yeah, That Sociedad team's got some stars in it, hasn't it? Martin Odegaard, Alexander Isaac, Mikel Merino, of course, playing really, really well.
Mikel Merino is really good player.
Good football education in Spain at the moment. So, just to clarify, Dave, 5 substitutes have been made by Liverpool, so we won't be seeing Mo Salah. But you did make a good observation. I know. Me too, buddy. Me too. You did make a good observation earlier that Liverpool going a bit more direct, which is a tactic we've seen from Jurgen Klopp. In times of desperation this season, but it's not quite working, is it? It definitely plays into Everton's kind of 2 banks of 4, doesn't it? So hopefully, not the case. Naby Keita continues to probe, and so does Sadio Mane. Go on, Dave.
Yeah, no, I think it kind of goes back to what we said at half time. It's like, from Everton point of view, it's like they're saying if you want to be champions on Wednesday, you have to come and beat us. And if I'm honest, I don't think Liverpool have done enough to win this game today. So from a football social point of view, I'm hoping there's going to be a goal, and it's a Liverpool goal. But they definitely, I wouldn't say they deserve to win this game today. But now that they've just whipped the ball out very nicely at the moment, but then it just falls down again. They're actually getting the ball wide quite well again now, with some nice whip. But then it's almost like there's not that extra little bit of creativity to actually unlock the Everton defence, and it's almost like they're trying to thread a ball through, hoping that something will come for it, rather than actually trying to work it into a really good position. So if you're looking at it another way, it's actually a very good defensive point, performance from Everton. So maybe we should give them a little bit more credit. Yeah,
they have been very resilient, particularly without some key defensive players, and we're not seeing the best of Gabamin because he's been consistently injured, and Yerry Mina is of course out as well. But I think you're right in what you say. No side really deserves to take the spoils here, unfortunately. But Liverpool continue to press, and just as I say that, Everton, a real solid team performance from them. We weren't necessarily seeing this level of desire, were we, under Marco Silva, and the work rate changed instantly when Big Dunk came in, as it would, because you don't really want to be, going against him in the dressing room. But yeah, a very good team performance, and we're seeing Richarlison making flying tackles in Everton's third, so pretty much sums up the game here. Jose, are you happy with the point on the balance of play?
To be honest, we are not playing the best game. That's the reality. They have 3 big chances in the second half. They should have scored at least 1. So I don't like to admit this, but I will take the point right now. Obviously, let's see in the last 3 minutes. I believe as well, in my opinion, that I mentioned before, Salah is not playing because he's not 100%. Definitely, if not, he would have put him on. Definitely, I believe. If not, why you could put him on? So it's something going on with him. Maybe he put him on the bench, obviously, to maybe Ancelotti that he has Salah on the bench and maybe prepare the game a bit for that. But if he didn't put him on, it's because he's not 100% and he don't want to risk him. But at the moment, like I say, a point I will be happy because we didn't deserve to win, to be honest, today. Even if
free kick.
But maybe I changed my words after this free kick. Let's see.
That's what we like to see.
It's a fantastic bit of play from Oxlade-Chamberlain. He's designed to pick the ball up and actually drive.
You want me to go in the pool?
I meant to reference him earlier, not
of course,
just to correct myself.
Of course, Jose, I want to see you go in the pool. Come on. It'll
That's why
be
you were
like a
saying.
football special history.
Get
Everyone
those
wants
swimming
Liverpool
goggles
to-
out, Jose.
Don't worry,
Just
we
out
can
read
go,
it.
don't worry.
Because this is sailing straight in, buddy. Trent
Come on.
Alexander-Arnold. He knows what's on the line here. It's not just the title. It's a potentially iconic clip from the Football Social.
If he score, I will be very happy to win the pool. Don't worry.
Jose won't come back. He'll be bobbing around in the pool with a cocktail for the rest of the night.
Don't worry, I take the laptop with me. Don't worry, everything goes.
I'll join you, Jose. I'll jump in the bath.
Come on, Trent.
Right, okay.
Come on, Trent.
Oh!
Hi, Fabi.
Why is it Trent taking that?
This
It's
is
not work,
lockdown.
to be honest. Why is Fabinho taking that?
That's a save. What a save.
So,
I mean, Jordan, that's fairly central in the goal. I feel like Jordan Pickford's made that look spectacular, but he saved it nonetheless. Maybe I'm being a little bit harsh because he's taken a free kick off Trent, and that is totally
There
we
unforgivable in my opinion.
it's the last chance. Van Dijk header, come in it. Oh, rubbish.
Oh, that's terrible. Get Fabinho on him.
Did that go out?
You are all Liverpool
Or was
supporters
that a
now,
foul
eh?
on Pickford? Okay.
The swimming pool fans
Disappointment
now.
is tangible. It's tangible right now, isn't it? Come on, a resolute defensive performance from Everton. Liverpool have 20 seconds left. That felt like their last big opportunity. But we said that in the last fixture when when Virgil van Dijk scored against Everton, and we saw Akinfenwa completely lose his mind there. And Moise Keane has come on for
He's
the
really
last
happy.
10 seconds.
He's really happy to play 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Ah,
That's just no doubt to wind the clock down. Ancelotti, he knows every trick in the book, doesn't he? And that could have just killed the game.
Oh.
oh dear. Well,
Exactly, David.
Jose,
That
one final
sigh-
question from me.
Yeah, John
Okay.
Stish should clip that sigh out from Dave just to sum up this game. But yeah, a couple last questions from you, Will.
Looks like a beautiful Spanish evening in Valencia. What have you got for dinner?
To be honest, I didn't have dinner yet, and it's 10 o'clock here. So I'm going to have some fish ready. I will have some potato
Nice.
with it, and some vegetables, really. That's all. It's going to be my dinner.
Lovely.
Lovely stuff.
I love the
Lovely.
fish. The fish here is really fresh and it's really nice, so I love it.
Just thought
Guys,
that summed
let
up
me
the
put-
game, really, huh, Chris?
Let me put the light, guys, because it's a bit dark here, I believe.
Yeah, go for it. Jose's putting the light. We'll have a few more questions. So if you've got anything to ask the former Liverpool and Newcastle man, let us know in the comments. But do it pretty quickly, guys, because as you can see, the game has been wrapped up. It's not one that we'll be talking about in great detail. I think I'd sooner have covered the Newcastle Sheffield United game. No, but lovely for joining us. Please subscribe to the channel. Let's go to the table. Just to see what that does for the complexion of the league. And yes, Liverpool are still top and still by a very, very convincing margin, 23 points. But it does mean that they don't secure the league should Manchester City win in the next match week. Of course, they needed 2 victories prior to this, and the draw definitely complicates matters. But it does seem like a matter of time, doesn't it? Maybe Everton have delayed the title party for 1 more week. And that point for Everton lifts them to 12th, level on points with Newcastle, which at various stages of the season seemed inconceivable. But that's the reality that now faces the Toffees. And they have European football aspirations, but are still a long way off. Let's go over to a very, Jose, that's totally changed now you've put the light on.
Ah,
Yeah, exactly. It was so dark, man. I didn't realize. I was talking to you guys and watching the game, and I didn't even realize.
It felt like a true crime documentary, Jose. Like we were talking to a witness that didn't want to be named. And think what could have been. We could be looking at Jose Enrique in his pool now, just before his paella. But not to be. Will, please save me with a question.
Yeah, Jose, obviously that game was god-awful, so let's focus down the bottom of the table. Your former team, Newcastle, picking up some big points, but what 3 teams do you think will go down?
Well, it's difficult to know because obviously I thought Brighton is gonna be there fighting for that. Obviously, they're still on the fight to it. They have a big win yesterday. So obviously it's difficult to know, but let me see the table as well to make sure I tell you the right teams.
Absolutely.
If you just tell me Aston Villa are going down, that'd be great.
Okay, so Norwich. Okay, is that? So Norwich, obviously, is very difficult for them. Then I hope Aston Villa doesn't, really, because he has such a big history in the Premier League. But I put them going down as well, to be honest. And then I will say Watford, mate. I'm gonna say it. Look, I'm going for
Watford. Wow.
Yeah, I'm going for Watford.
Nice.
I don't know. So I hope
we're going to say Bournemouth, and then you remember Jefferson Lerma.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I support Bournemouth, mate. I
never switches off.
Exactly.
And that's why he's a top agent.
He's always working,
Watford. Not going to play there. Love that, Jose.
Dave, what about you? Who do you think's going down?
I know nothing about football, mate. After that horrendous prediction I've been saying since the beginning of the season, mate. I think that I'd say Norwich definitely down. I think Villa will as well. I think if they can nick a point today, that would have been massive for them, just for their confidence. I think Villa will go down, and I think Bournemouth as well. I think they've just left themselves a bit too much. I think there's probably 17 better teams than the 3 that I just named. So yeah, they're basically my 3. Yeah.
How are we saying the same?
Yeah, why not? I actually want to hijack your question with a question of my own, which is poor decorum from me, Will. But just when we went full screen on Dave there and I saw the Ronaldo and Bergkamp top, I wanted to ask Jose Enrique who his footballing heroes were growing up.
It was Ronaldo, definitely, the Brazilian. What a player, you know. Yeah. So for me, was my hero. You can see my doggy there. He's making a poo appear as well. Look.
That really sums up the game. That does.
He has done appear, mate. Look. Look, guys, I didn't get in the pool, but my dog is done appear on TV. What do you think? It's good, no?
Excellent. Well, it wasn't the clip we were hoping for, but we still got a clip from the Enrique household. Great. I love it. The dog just stole the limelight there.
You want me to pee on it now as well? And like this will make a better clip.
How have we gone from Ronaldo to this?
Yeah, it's true. A legend, Ronaldo. A legend.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. Will, who's your hero? Because I think that's what people really want to know, mate. Just to round off the show, who was your hero growing up?
I feel like I need an animal in here to start doing his business behind me, but I haven't got one. For me, Christophe Dugarry, because no one else is going to talk about him on a football show in the near future. Having a French World Cup winner at St Andrews in the early 2000s was just something that nobody could think about. And he had great long hair, fantastic facial hair, and he just really rocked the Flyby long sleeve with absolute grace and decorum.
I'm being told from the gallery that we just lost 1,000 viewers when you started talking about Christophe Dugarry. So I'm going to move on to promoting next week's show. And here it is. The Football Social returns for what should have been a title party. It's Liverpool versus Crystal Palace. Obviously, be keen to get that first title since 1990 back on track. But Palace, solid victory this weekend for them. And they're an outside, sound like Sean Connery now, an outside bet for European football. That'll be live on Soccer AM and Football Daily's YouTube pages at 8 p.m. Jose, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on.
Thank you very much.
All the way from Valencia.
You really funny guys. You make it very, very easy and very nice. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much, buddy. We were supposed to have you on earlier in the season over in Sky Studios, and I've got to say you've pulled an absolute worldie being able to do it from home in Valencia instead of Brentford. So Jose Enrique is the real winner. Dave, thanks for joining us, mate.
Nice.
Jose.
Thank
Will,
you.
great to have you back, pal.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
Pleasure as always. Right, thank you for tuning in, guys. Like, subscribe, make sure you tune in for that Liverpool versus Crystal Palace stream, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Peace.
Bye.